Jai Panda, Member of Parliament from the Biju Janata Dal, has always been one MP who has been a class apart, always willing to take on positions which weren't popular amongst traditional netas. Today he wrote to the Lok Sabha Speaker asking for MPs to give up the subsidy they enjoy in Parliament in the canteen. Now this is sacrilege at a time when there are so many crores of people who live below the poverty line. Why should MPs, who by no stretch are BPL, be enjoying subsidies in Parliament? Panda wants these subsidies to go, but his fellow MPs aren't as excited.
Any kind of subsidy really should go to the poorest of the poor people and not those who can afford it.
BJD MP Jai Panda wants the food subsidy for members of Parliament at Parliament House to go. Leading the charge, the MP from Odisha has shot off a letter to the Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan demanding an end to the subsidy in Parliament canteens. In his letter, Jai Panda says that MPs should renounce the canteen subsidy in line with the government's appeal to well-off citizens to voluntarily surrender their subsidized LPG cylinders so that the poor can benefit.
I think the next logical step, apart from speaking out in public and on social media, is for me to officially write, and I have done that, and I hope we will get the support of my colleagues in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha and make this happen.
But Jai Panda's proposal has very few takers among his colleagues in Parliament.
मैं कहूँगा कि पार्लियामेंट की जो सब्सिडी है उसको सिर्फ पार्लियामेंट के मेंबर्स ही इस्तेमाल नहीं करते हैं, तमाम मीडिया इस्तेमाल करता है, दूसरे लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं, लेकिन अगर इस पे कोई मत बनता है कि सब्सिडी खत्म की जाए तो सरकार इस मामले में कदम उठा सकती है.
Too much of subsidy, if it is there, what Mr. Pandey has said might be correct. If that is the case, then we are not for too much of subsidy for MP's canteen.
The rejection of Jai Panda's proposal by most of the MPs stems from the fact that their meals in Parliament are heavily subsidized. A parliamentarian has to pay just 20 rupees for fish curry, 41 rupees for mutton biryani, 5 rupees for dal roti, 12 rupees for chole bhature. This despite MPs getting a salary of 1.4 lakh rupees per month. A Right to Information reply last month has revealed that Parliament canteens serving members of Parliament got a subsidy of more than 60 crore rupees over the last 5 years. The Biju Janata Dal MP may have taken the initiative against the subsidy in Parliament canteens, but given the kind of lukewarm response his call has gotten from his colleagues in Parliament, the food subsidy in the House is unlikely to go anytime soon. Bureau Report, India Today.
Is this just a perspective from an elitist MP, as some of the more poorer MPs would have us believe? I want to go across now to Jai Panda, Member of Parliament of the BJD. He's joining us on this broadcast. Several MPs who've been speaking to us, Jai, say that you're playing to the gallery, that you come from a very rich background yourself, and therefore for you to give up subsidies is very easy. For you to say that subsidies should be given up is easy. You're seeking social media and media acclaim, but your other MPs are opposed to what you're saying.
I'm not playing to the gallery. Please look at my track record. If you Google and see my op-eds and public statements and actions that I have been taking for the past decade, I have been standing up against this VVIP culture of entitlement that we elected representatives have, whether it is the need to drastically cut down on the red light beacon culture or the exemption from frisking at airports, things like that. I have been standing up for that, and this is consistent with the stand I have been taking. And also the condition of the country has changed today. What has happened in the last 1 year with the government asking average Indians to surrender their LPG cooking gas subsidies has been very popular. About 1 million Indians have surrendered, and these Indians are not particularly rich Indians, although there are rich Indians also, but there are middle class Indians who have given this up. And certainly I don't think MPs categorize as the poorest of the poor. I think what is necessary today is to recognize that the time has come that our subsidies must be reserved only for the poorest of our citizens.
Okay, but MPs say, given the kind of, and I'm not agreeing with them in the least, broadly I'm on your side, but I'm voicing what Arjun Meghwal of the BJP says. He says there are several people who eat at these canteens. There are guests, officials, even journalists eat in some of the media canteens. He's saying, in the parliament canteens, he's saying that MPs are being given a bad name. Do you think that this subsidy should go for all and everyone must pay the same, because there are CRPF, CISF guards also who will have to pay a lot more then? Maybe they can't afford to pay so much.
Shri Meghwal is right that it is not just MPs who avail of the parliament canteen, others do, but they are all government servants. And, considering, I don't think government servants also qualify to be the poorest of the poor, and
Absolutely.
many of these people have been voluntarily giving up the LPG gas connections. And in case there is somebody that is truly deserving of a food subsidy, I think it should be transparent and out in the open. Let us give it by way of Aadhaar cash transfer to them, so that the country knows who is availing of the benefit and who is not, just the way it is being done with LPG cylinders. So yes, if there is a real need for someone to get a benefit, let them get it, but not in this non-transparent manner.
So how do you intend to take this battle forward? Now the reality is most MPs on camera will say that no, the subsidy can go, we don't mind. But the reality is they will fight tooth and nail to keep the subsidy. And unless all of them get together and act, no, the subsidy stays. How will you be able to take this forward, Jay?
Resistance to change is not unique to elected representatives. It is true for any human being, and it is normal to have a sort of resistance. But let us understand something. The vast majority of the country, the citizens out there, are saying this and expressing their opinion very strongly on this. That if 1 million Indians can today give up cooking gas subsidy, then certainly few hundred MPs should be able to give up subsidized food in the parliament canteen. So I think as public representatives, we may initially not recognize it, but gradually public opinion does matter to us, and I believe it will have an impact on many MPs, and some are already beginning to speak up, not just in public but also in private. But yes, it depends on how much of the public support for this change, this reform,
there is massive public support. The question is, how many people will come out within Parliament and say, let their subsidies be taken away? More power to you, Jay, and to others in your tribe, and let this subsidy go. It's really sacrilege to have MPs chomping away at chicken and vegetable cutlets for 1/5, 1/10 the price that people will pay on the street. Why should MPs, who are by no stretch of imagination poor, enjoy such benefits? Let's see where Jay Panda's campaign goes. Thank you very much, Jay, for joining us in the newsroom tonight.